Dividend stocks in my dividend portfolio. I'm going to reveal my entire dividend portfolio here in this video here today. $170,000 plus account. We're going to go through all the positions. I'm going to let you know what stocks I'm looking to buy more shares of, what stocks I'm not looking to buy shares of, what stocks I'm looking to sell as far as dividend stocks goes. This is a portfolio I started back in 2019 inside the private group, and they've been able to see every single move I've ever made in regards to this portfolio over time. And I've been pretty pleased with how it's performed. And now we're up to a place where we're going to receive about $5,600 a year in just dividend income in this specific portfolio, which is, my long-term goal with this portfolio is to someday hopefully get it to a place where it brings in $50,000 a year just in dividend income, essentially, which would be a pretty epic number because I used to make $50,000 a year roughly working at Quick Trip. And so I think it would be great to have a dividend portfolio that just brings in that much strictly just off dividends. And one thing I'll say about dividend investing is one of the least stressful things I've ever done in the stock market. Investing in growth stocks. One minute you're on top of the world, and the next minute you're like, oh, did I make a huge mistake here, essentially? Growth stocks is definitely a different world, right? Investing in growth stocks, and there's a lot of growth stocks I own, right? Including stocks like Meta, stocks like Tesla, stocks like Amazon, and many others that, one moment those companies are on top of the world, next minute those stocks prices are down 50, 60, 70%, right? And so you have to be ready for extreme volatility when you're growth investing. Dividend stocks definitely have volatility. It's a stock at the end of the day, but they don't have that level of volatility. And so I think it's important that everybody understands that. I feel like personally it's a much less stressful thing. And when it comes to dividend investing, here's the thing. If you're thinking about real estate investing, if you know anything about real estate investing, or maybe you're a real estate investor yourself, right? There's a few key principles you always keep in mind. One is don't time the market. Second is invest in properties for the long term. It's not like you're trying to flip these properties. If you're investing in real estate, you're thinking, how much cash flow is this property going to bring in over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? Number 3, you want your home value to hopefully appreciate over time. And number 4, you want to receive that cash flow all the time. It's a very simple proposition, right? And it can get more complicated as you look more into the property and trying to figure out if this property is better than this other property, or maybe I should buy this other house, it's in this other neighborhood, things like that, right? And it's very similar to dividend investing. When you build out a dividend investing portfolio, it's not about timing the market. It's not about trying to get the perfect entry or something like that. Obviously, you would love shares as cheap as possible, but that's not the goal. It's not to time the market, right? You're always thinking about long term. I'm not trying to think about trading in and out of these stocks. This isn't day trading or something like that, or swinging. This one bounced 3%, time to sell, flip it into this stock. No, okay? I'm always thinking about the stock going up in value over time, right? And receiving the cash flow in terms of what I receive from that dividend stock, right, which is like the $5,600 per year, and hopefully building out into $10,000 per year, then $20,000 per year, then $30,000 per year, so on and so forth, right? And it's definitely part of my overall portfolio strategy, which is a GVD, growth stocks, value stocks, and dividend stocks over time, and just building that bigger and bigger. And this portfolio is just focused around dividend stocks, essentially. So hope you guys enjoy this video as always. If you're looking to apply to join my private stock group and my private wealth group, check out the pinned comment down there. It'll also be in the description. You get access to my public account, which has about $1.1 million worth of stocks in it. You get access to all the moves also I make in my dividend portfolio that I'm showing you in this video, as well as all my different course curriculums, as well as monthly meetings we have with myself and the other investors and things like that. So ton of value out there. And if you would like to apply to join us in there, check out the pinned comment down there. Also, if you're looking to support the channel, you enjoy the channel, you get good value from it, and you want to support the channel, check out the Patreon. That'll also be in the description area, also maybe be pinned comment down there. And I just bought the new stocks in the Patreon portfolio as well, so that will be linked down there as well. And we just had our 200th Patreon member, which is Rudy V. So Rudy V, thank you for supporting on Patreon, and also thank you everybody that supports on Patreon. I appreciate each and every one of you guys as always. Okay, do you know a company named Tapestry? So Tapestry is a company that owns Coach, Kate Spade, Stuart Weitzman, and this is indeed a company I own. This is actually the biggest position in the entire dividend account. Now, it's not the biggest position because I necessarily wanted it to be the biggest position, but quite simply, I've done very well on this stock. Let's just put it this way. This stock is up 238%. That does not account for any dividends received in this account. And this is a nice dividend payer as well. So up about $30,000 in the stock. And that's even in a down market. So it's done very, very well. My cost base on this one's $12.72. And overall, it's been a stock I've been very pleased with. Am I looking to buy more shares of Tapestry TPR? The answer to that is quite simply no, I'm not. I am good with the position sizing here. It's an overweight position, and once again, it's not because I wanted to make it that way. It's just, to be quite frank, the stock price has done so darn well that it became a very large position in this portfolio. Okay, have you ever heard of a company named Nordstrom? They also own Nordstrom Rack as well. Maybe you might know it. It's high-end store in terms of the Nordstrom store. Nordstrom Rack caters more to the middle class and has some great deals on a lot of great products at Nordstrom Rack. And that is a company I do own. I do own Nordstrom, JWN. It's a stock that's done decent for us. Hasn't done amazing. It's come down a lot over the past year. We've gained about 16% value on this, up about $4,800. Once again, that does not account for all the dividends received in this stock over time. It's a $34,000 position. Cost base of $1,509. Am I interested in buying more Nordstrom shares? The answer to that is yes. I am interested. Not a ton, but I am interested in buying some more shares. Not a ton of shares. The thing is, this is already a big position in this portfolio, so if I do add more shares, it's going to be a small amount. Are you familiar with a company named Foot Locker? They own Foot Locker, they own Kids Foot Locker, they own Champs and a few other brands as well, but their main business is Foot Locker business. Have you ever heard of that company? I do own the company. I do own it. Foot Locker has the third biggest position in this portfolio, up about 48% there, up about $9,500. Current value is about $29,000. Once again, this does not include all the dividends received from Foot Locker over time, which is a great dividend payer. Am I looking to buy more Foot Locker shares? The answer to that is yes. Not a lot more, because once again, it's an overweight position in this portfolio. But I am looking to buy more Foot Locker shares. And Foot Locker might, keyword is might, have been one of the stocks of many stocks I bought in the Patreon portfolio this past Friday, nonetheless. So I am looking to buy more, but not a ton more shares. Okay. Have you ever heard of a company named Wynn Resorts? They own Wynn Las Vegas, Encore Las Vegas. They own the Wynn Palace on the Cotai Strip. They own Wynn on the old part of Macau as well. And they own Encore property in the old part of Macau. And they also own Wynn Boston Harbor. Well, actually, they call it Encore Boston Harbor, if I recall, which is in the Boston area, essentially. Very high-end company, 5 diamond properties. There's only about, I think it was about 125 5-diamond properties in the world, if I recall. And Wynn and Encore are some of those 5 diamond properties, nonetheless. And this is a company. I do own the company. And this is a stock that's done decent for us, 25%. The thing with Wynn that's complicated is Wynn used to be a big dividend stock. They used to pay a ton of dividends. They don't right now. So this is a weird stock that I hold in this portfolio, hoping they're going to start paying dividends again. But because China has basically shut down Macau for such a long time and limited their operations there, not just for Wynn, but for all the operators over in the Macau region, it's created Wynn in a situation where they can't really pay dividends. So this is a confusing stock for me where I'm trying to figure out, do I dump it out of the portfolio since they don't actually pay a dividend right now? Or do I keep it because eventually if Macau really truly opens up for real again, they're going to start paying dividends. So that's something I am considering, not looking to add more shares of Wynn in this portfolio. Have you ever heard of Walgreens before? Walgreens is pretty much the biggest pharmacy chain out there. Walgreens, CVS, I mean, if you live in the United States of America, you're probably very well familiar with either Walgreens or CVS, right? And Walgreens, this is a company I own. I own Walgreens, WBA. So this is about a $16,000 position. Basically, we haven't lost or gained any money on it. We have gained money, obviously, in dividends received from this company. It's a great dividend payer for this one. $16,000 position. Am I looking to buy more shares of WBA Walgreens? The answer to that is absolutely yes. This is a position I want to build bigger in the dividend portfolio and in my maybe my Patreon portfolio as well, but definitely I want to build this position bigger in my dividend portfolio. Phenomenal payer, solid business model, not so exciting, but That's not what you're really looking for dividends. You're looking for hopefully capital appreciation over time, right? Which it hasn't given us yet, but it has given us a lot of dividend income, and we should receive a lot of dividend income. They've made a lot of changes over this past, I would say, 12 to 18 months, and I'm really excited about the next, I would say, 24 to 36 months for WBA. Okay, have you ever heard of a company named Pfizer? It is a biopharmaceutical company, and I do own the company. Pfizer has given us a nice gain in this portfolio. We're up about 41% on the stock as of right now. Great dividend payer. Cost base on this one, $33.66. Am I looking to buy more Pfizer? No, I'm not looking to buy more Pfizer. I'm looking to just hold what I have in regards to Pfizer. Obviously, great biopharmaceutical company. They do their thing. They bring in big profits. Good company. I'm not looking to buy more. Have you ever heard of a company named JP Morgan Chase? If you have, I do own the company. It is a position I own in here. We're up about 38% roughly on the position, up about $1,900 as of right now. It's a smaller position, only about 4% of the weight of the portfolio is JP Morgan, $100 cost basis. Am I looking to buy JP Morgan? This is a complicated one. So one side of me says I should buy it. P does not look high. Forward P does not look high. But at the end of the day, I do feel like we're in a weaker economic environment for this next 12 to 24 months. And I am concerned about kind of the economy. And I'm like, do I really want to buy a bank when you're kind of in that realm, or maybe going into a situation where it gets worse? So it's a really tough one for me. I'm on the fence. I would call myself that. I'm on the fence in regards to JP Morgan. What have we got back here? What have we got back here? Oh my goodness, there's a little guy back there. What does he say? Buy more JP Morgan or no? Oh man, he's hiding back there. But nonetheless, it's a tough decision for me. But as of right now, I'm very on the fence with JP Morgan and trying to figure out, do I really want to add more shares? Actually going to listen to the JP Morgan call inside the private stock group on this coming Monday. Target. Have you ever heard of Target before? Well, if you have, it is a company I do own. We're up about 7% on the position, up right now, up about $441. Do I want to buy more Target shares? Answer to that is absolutely yes. I definitely want to build that position bigger over this next 6 to 12 months, and that is something I will do in regards to Target. Have you ever heard of the planet Earth before? I do own the entire thing. I'm just kidding, okay? There's one last company I do own here, and that is Qualcomm, a semiconductor company. We're up about 80% on this one. I should have bought a lot more shares when I started buying this one. Not looking to add it at the moment. Might in the future, okay? Now, there's a few stocks I'm potentially going to add in this account in the future that I'm, not ready to quite share at the moment, but definitely a few stocks that I'm thinking about. Now, in regards to this account, I hope you can point out the weakness here. The weakness is obviously a lot of clothing-related companies right at the top, right? We're very heavily overweighted in clothing-related companies. Foot Locker clothing, JWN Nordstrom clothing, Tapestry clothing. So it's clothing related, right? And obviously they're all different. This is shoe related, this is more purses related, right? And this is more just overall clothing. But at the end of the day, it's just throw it into the clothing and accessories category. And so at the end of the day, I'm looking to build out positions in companies that aren't just clothing related companies, right? And so that's why definitely a Target's one I'm considering. Even a JP Morgan, it's just, do I want to buy more JP Morgan? Maybe a semiconductor company or two in here. My main problem, I'll tell you what my main problem is in terms of building this account a lot bigger and adding a lot more companies that aren't just clothing related companies or retailers and things like that. My number one issue right now, and this is an issue that's probably facing a lot of dividend investors, is if you look at, let's say, the Dow 30, which the Dow 30 is usually where you can find a lot of dividend stocks, right? A lot of great established companies that have great business models that aren't being too disrupted. They find a way to just kind of do their thing and make dividend income. The main issue I'm having is a lot of those dividend-paying Dow 30 type stocks overvalued heavily right now. Heavily. And so I'm in a situation here where I would love to add some of these companies, but I'm not going to add companies just to add them for a dividend yield when I feel like they're likely overvalued. And so what I'm hoping happens over this next 6 to 12 months is I'm hoping a lot of these, the Dow comes down, and the Dow moves down about 10 to 20%. If the Dow moves down 10 to 20%, some of those Dow stocks will move down 30 to 50%. Some of the stocks that are in the Dow that are companies that I would love to add and make into very nice sized dividend positions in the dividend portfolio. But I've got to have valuations come down on those babies before I add those. And that's when I can start talking about more diversity in that portfolio and building that portfolio hopefully out to a 300,000, 500,000, and hopefully someday $1 million plus portfolio that can bring in 40, 50,000 a year just in dividend income. Okay, and one of the other advantages to dividend income is it's taxed at a much lower tax rate than if you do any sort of short-term gains on stocks and things like that as well, guys. So hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, let me know what some of your favorite dividend stocks you are buying right now in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. As always, if you're looking to apply to join my private stock group, my private wealth group, or you want to support the channel through Patreon and see the Patreon portfolio and all the moves I'm making in there, check out the link in the description. It might also be the pinned comment down there, and have a great day.